Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dawn. Today we are working on part 3 of this journal. We have our cover ready to go. We have our signatures ready to go. Everything's in the order it's gonna be. So I'm gonna start by binding it, and then we're gonna add some accessories. I do have some laces I want to try adding to this part of the spine, but I don't want to be handling and binding this journal while the spine is wet. So I'm gonna, this dried crooked, which is frustrating because I feel like I tried really hard to not make that happen, but I'm just gonna give it a smoosh. This is my book club or reading journal that hopefully I will be teaching this class. I just need it to be posted up, and then I can start putting the link in, but I'm not sure it's up online yet, but it will be eventually. So I guess I think I'm just gonna have to, usually I will clip this together, and I forgot this time, and that's why I do. Like if the spine is drying, because I put a lot of glue and tape on here, I'll clip it together even so that when it dries it's even, but I forgot this time. But I think once I put the signatures in, it should straighten out a little. Because I'll put the signatures in and then I'll make sure it's resting in a straight way. Okay, so I have my signatures, they're ready to go, and then I have my awl. I have my thread. I'm using yellow. There's yellow on the spine here, so there's a little bit of golden yellow. Usually I would do something that blends in, but if I'm using this as an example for teaching, I do want a bit of contrast so the stitches can actually be seen, because there's a really good chance that if I'm teaching this class, it's the first time somebody's doing a pamphlet stitch, so I want to make sure they can see. And I have 3 signatures, so I'll need 3 pieces. I'm not teaching the pamphlet stitch right now, but if you haven't done it before, there's plenty of tutorials. I have not made a tutorial on the pamphlet stitch. I guess I could, but I tend to not. I tend to just kind of do it. I did teach it in a class the other day, and it went well, so I know I know how to teach it. Yeah, anyway. Little hack that I have is right above my desk. I have a little magnet board. On that I just have a plain magnet, and I stick my needle to the magnet whenever I'm not using it. So basically anytime my needle doesn't have a large piece of ribbon or thread on it, I will have it up on that magnet. That way I don't lose it. It's easier to find it if it's already got this attached. Okay, I threaded my needle. Not sure I need to do that yet. I am just gonna eyeball this. I use my big paper clips, and then I just eyeball to the center of the paper clips. I'm not a measurer. I'm really not. I'm gonna do a 5-hole pamphlet stitch for this because the pages are very tall and all the pages are different heights, and I do want to make sure that I grab up everything. So I'm going about 1 inch down and doing 3 holes, middle, top, bottom, and then I'm just going to eyeball between those 2 holes as well and try really hard not to stab myself. Trying. There's that. So now that I have all those holes, I'm going to take this, and I know that I always do the paper clips the same way, so I just have to line the paper clips up with each other where it's 1, 1, so 2 on the front, 2 on the top. Then I'm going to just use that first signature to measure the second signature holes. That way everything's lined up still. Typically, I would probably measure them, but I'm just not feeling it today. It's a little bit of an off day in my house. Everybody's a little bit overtired. Everybody's a little bit sick because of course we are. I have little kids, and so we're just doing our best. Alright, and then I'm going to use this one to measure this one, and I'm just holding these so that they're together and they're nice and lined up. Yeah, anyway, everybody in my family's a little off, everybody's a little sick, so I'm just kind of doing this. Poking my 5 holes, then I'll bind in my signatures, and then we'll add some decorations. Something really exciting that is happening in my crafty world is that I am hosting a collage meetup event in a coffee shop, a local coffee shop. So if you live in Illinois and you are interested in doing a collage meetup event with me, check my link tree for the link. The tickets are on sale through the coffee shop website, so that's where you'll be able to grab tickets. And I think it's going to be really fun. And that will be March, I want to say 5th. It's the first Thursday of the month. I'm going to make sure this is creased because it seems a little off, and that could be why we were struggling with our fold. Where is that? I have to find the fold. Okay. Nope. That's why we were struggling with keeping it straight, because the fold wasn't even. Okay. That helped a little. What I'm going to do is line this signature up top to bottom, space it out as evenly as I can, make sure it's flat, and then I'm going to poke 3 holes across. I have 3 signatures, so I will admit right now that I am an eyeballer. I figure the worst that happens is it's a little off, and it's a junk journal, so I tend to kind of just eyeball all of my measurements. I am looking at these holes in this to line up where I'm putting my holes, and then I'm doing the middle one, and then I'm spacing evenly out from either side of the middle one. It's probably really hard to see on camera because the holes are not going all the way through, but I will go back, obviously, and poke them all the way through after I just get them marked on here. Alright, this hole in the center, and this one. I don't use templates. I don't measure. You can, and in the class I'll probably show everybody how to do that. I just feel like I've been doing this long enough that I have the experience and eyeballing skills to do really well when I just eyeball it. So why do extra work if it's not something I need? So then I'll just go through and I will poke through every single one of those holes. And I know there's 5 and 3, 5 down and 3 across. Then we're going to do a quick 5-hole pamphlet stitch, and then we're going to decorate some of our pages. I have some tabs, I have some envelopes. So we'll just go through. I have some book pages. We're going to do a couple things with some of the pages from the book. Take the guts of the book and put them back in the book. And then we'll have our book club journal. And I will be ready with an example for that course, which is really fun. I am gearing up for my market season. Oh, there's all our holes. I've been applying to a couple of markets that I've done in past years, and their applications are already coming out, and these markets are like, I applied for a market that's in September. So this is my first signature. Make sure it's lined up with the front. And then I'm just going to do my 5-hole pamphlet stitch, making sure that everything is lined up nicely. And I'm going to make sure I hold my tail. And this is hard to show on camera and still get it accurate, so bear with me. But I did put white paper down on my desk because I realized that I had old newspaper that was not old enough to be fun to look at. It was new enough that I didn't really want to look at what all was going on that newspaper, so I put some white paper over it. So now whoops. It is hard to do this on camera. I just hit the camera with the book while trying to find the hole. Alright. Yep. Alright, and then skip the center hole and go down to the next one. I don't know. I've been tempted to film a tutorial on the pamphlet stitch, but honestly, there are so many out there that it kind of seems silly to me. So if you are interested in me filming a pamphlet stitch tutorial, leave a comment, let me know. Because I would love to know if that's something that is wanted from me or not. Alright, and then we're going to go back through the middle. Without, hopefully, apparently we're going to go through the middle. I don't know. It's not happening. There it is. Without puncturing our thread, hopefully. And I want to make sure these are on either side of the center. And then I'm just going to pull these strings tight. And that's how I will make sure that nothing is caught, none of the strings are caught on each other or threaded like through the middle of the strings. And it's nice and tight. And then I'm tie my knot. Tight. And then get that out of the way. Might trim it after, might not. And then I'm going to grab these two. I'm going to take this paper clip here to hold those pages all together, and then I'm going to carefully take this paper clip so I don't scratch the book and hold all those pages to that part of the book. Okay, see, I almost lost my needle. Grab my next one, do my next signature. That's it. So, more life updates. I've been getting more classes set up at the Art Institute and, well, Institute is the right word. Art Center. Been working on getting some social workshops set up at a local coffee shop. I would love to do more with more local coffee shops. Been talking about getting some of my books for available for sale in a bookstore, so selling some journals in a bookstore, which I think would be really fun. Don't have details on that yet. Definitely looking for some other coffee shops, maybe like in a like further west or further north from me, so that a different group could participate. But it's hard to find a place like a coffee shop that is open kind of later in the afternoon, because I want to do like an after work gathering, like a club, like a book club almost, but for for junk journals, for journaling and collaging and hanging out and making friends or bringing friends or finding new friends, or bringing old friends and finding new friends at the same time, because why not? Expanding friend groups. So, whoops, okay, see, I keep doing that because I'm trying to find the hole from the back, and this book is a bit on the large side, so it's a little bit bigger than I might be used to, so I'm struggling a little bit. Okay, back through that hole, and then back through the middle, hopefully. Through there, and then I don't even know if you could see the needle, if there's even any point in trying to show you. Okay, got it. And then pull my needle out, put it up on my magnet. All right. I am in a place where hopefully my daughter's preschool, she's been really struggling to settle in. She's only 3. She's been home with her parents, and my husband works full-time, a lot of hours, probably more than full-time. But he works from home. So she's never really had to be like, he's never really been inaccessible to her, and I've been home with her. And even when we've tried like babysitters or grandparents that she sees them all the time, she's fine with them. And then as soon as mom and dad leave, she's not fine with them anymore, basically. That's where we're at with her. She's not been settling well into school so far, and so I'm not sure. We're trying some new things. We're trying some different things. We got her like a soft photo album and put a bunch of pictures of our family in there so she can carry it around and she can look at us when she misses us, and that's been cute. I like seeing little pictures of her when carrying it around, but she's crying so much that they're not sure that they know what to even try anymore, because she's on the, like, there's all the little holes from where I poked my spine. I don't know if you can see them. They're in my paper. That's why I have a paper on my desk. Yeah, anyway, it's been a struggle, and so we're just kind of, whoops, see, here, this one's upside down. And I immediately knew that it was upside down because I have 2 on the top. So even though this is non-directional and this is non-directional, my paper clips, nope, I think I just put it upside down again. Okay. See, this is why I do this. 2 paper clips on the front. Okay. Anyway, daycare's been a struggle for her. Well, preschool. It's a preschool and a daycare. I don't know, it's both. But I want her to go to preschool. She's 3. She's like not all that interested in structured education at home. Like, she won't really sit with me and do workbooks and stuff. She gets silly and wants to play and whatever. And so I'm like, well, at some point you have to learn preschool basics. Like, you really just do. And so we thought easing her into being away from us, easing her into school before she starts, like before she has to go to kindergarten, and most of the kids there have already been to preschool and she's crying in kindergarten. That doesn't sound good to me. So something weird just happened there. That got caught on the center string and pulled it through. Okay. Binding in our last signature, and then we can do some decor. So, anyway, it's been fun around our house. No one's sleeping. Everybody's awake with her crying. She's really sad. She doesn't want to nap. She's really sad when she gets home. And I'm like, just go to school, have fun, and come home and have fun. Like, I know she's 3, but like it's not, you know, it's not that hard. Just go to school, have fun, come home, have fun, have a nice life. She's usually happy. And I just want her to be happy at school too. But it's a big transition for her and for us. So we'll see. But I don't know. There is a chance that she just doesn't adapt to school and that it's hard for her. Too hard for her right now, and that we have to wait another year or so and try again. Alright, pulling all these strings nice and tight to make sure everything's tight in there. And there we go. So anyway, that's my life story. my current struggle. It's been pretty rough with her. Because she's such a little, like, she's such a little love bug. But she just wants to be home with mom and dad, and that's all. See, it's squared up. Now that the pages are in there, it's squared up. We need to run through it with a bone folder, but I will do that. I will not do that on camera. So now we have the option where we have these, and we could add little charms if we wanted. So if we wanted to put charms on these dinglies, we wanted to say, like, get the 3 longer ones and cut the shorter ones and have charms on here, we could. That's an option. I don't usually, but I've been more into the idea lately than normal. Alright, so we're going to add some pockets. First we're going to make some pockets, then we're going to add some pockets. So I have these 2. I have these 3, and then I have these. So first thing I'm going to do is fold this in. I should do this where there's slightly more contrast. Okay, I'm folding this book page in a little bit, and then I'm folding, then I'm going to cut off this edge here that is like rough from pulling it out of the book. And it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Then I'm folding this in. Then I'm grabbing my glue stick, and I usually glue on an old magazine, but right now all my tools are on the magazine. Okay, so I'm just going to run glue all on this piece, and I have to cut, I know I have to cut off, I think, the tops of the pages, so I'm not that worried about it going all the way to the top. So gluing all this down. And then we have this piece here. And I'm going to repeat the same sort of process with this piece, but in the other direction. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to trim. And I'm going to trim it with a rounded corner and just on this side of the words. And then go in. And part of the reason I'm fully folding this and not cutting it is because I am using these pieces as pockets. And so this will be now reinforced by having 2 to 3 layers. I'll show you in a second once this is glued. Alright. Fold this. Okay, so now we have glue everywhere. Now we have a pocket, and this is going to be the pocket. It's going to go on the page, and so now this is reinforced and less flimsy than a plain book page would be. We have these envelopes, and we're going to like cut some of these out and some other pieces from our scraps and use all these to decorate a little bit of our, we have that. Those are all partial pieces. I'm not going to save that. We have these little books. We have this little stack of books. If we trim this here and then trim this here and then trim that there, then we have that piece. Here's another one with a cute little teacup. There we go. There's a little bookshelf. We can just add these as little accessories or tabs. Getting rid of some of our littler pieces. All right, and then I have all these that I can use, and I have all these pieces as well. So I can use these to, like, I have this. I could use like this piece here and kind of do something layered with maybe some of my other scraps that I just kind of always have on hand. Like I have this scrap, and this has not like the same kind of book page, but it has writing on it. So I'm gonna rip the edge down. Well, it might make it easier to hold. Rip this piece first. And rip this piece. I know I'm not the best at tearing, eyeball tearing. Alright, so we can put this piece on here. So first I need to see if this is the right height for my page. So we do need to cut a bit off, and I will cut off the bottom. I really would like it a little bit, tiny bit shorter than my page. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm just measuring the height of my page. It's a little bit shorter. So that's perfect. And then we can put this on here, and then we have this one, which I'm thinking I might kind of tear around sort of some of these, like where the ticket pieces are. I like that. And then we can find like maybe another little contrast piece in my scraps. I have ticket. I don't have anything like movie ticket, but I have like raffle tickets. I don't think that's right. I wish I had some of the smaller raffle tickets on hand. Oh, I do actually. Huh. So I have a few of these. I will probably use this one. I'm gonna do that, and then I think I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna do this, and then I need like another little piece, like a little book or a little one of these little pieces that I cut out or something, like a little teapot. But I don't love that they're all the same color. Do I have Well, I have this stamp pad here. See if I can use this for... This is, I got a lot of somebody's very, very old. I know you shouldn't do that. And now it's all over my hands. Which is probably why you shouldn't do that. I got somebody's like old collection of Stampin' Up! Ink pads, which is great, but they're all kind of old looking. Okay, so if I add some ink to that, it might add just enough contrast to pull that together. Except I still don't like it. So I could do this. Maybe I can put the ticket. I like the ticket. I might rip the edge off because I feel like the ticket's just a little too big for what I'm trying to do. If I put that there and I put this here, I like that. I'm gonna go with it, and I'm not gonna even use the ink. All right, so now I have to glue all this down and not forget how I had it on there, which is the really fun part. The really hard part. Okay, I'm just gonna use my Scotch permanent glue stick. That's my favorite glue stick. It's the one I use for all of my gluing in my journal making. It is not something that I would ever use or give my kids access to. Because it is very permanent. All right, I'm just gonna, I do a lot of just mooshing, which is a formal term for sure. Definitely not just a random word that I made up. Okay. Then this is gonna go up to the top like that. I like how these two like slants line up with each other. And then I still wonder if I should put that down there instead. Anyway, I'm gonna put the ticket here. This is a really thin ticket. If it was a thicker piece, I might use my wet glue, but these tickets are pretty thin. All right. And then that. It's a weird shape, so I'm gonna do that, and then I'm just gonna hold it and go to the edge on my hand. If you are following along for this whole journey, I just want to say thank you. I know it's been a while since I've made videos, and it can be hard to I can't get it closed. I'm trying not to like put my hand in it. It can be hard to follow along and stick with a channel that is not consistent with posting, and I appreciate everybody that has come to watch and anybody that is commenting. I really appreciate that as well, and I just want to thank you guys for being here and sticking with me while I come in and out of being able to do more videos. So hopefully someday, soon, very soon, if preschool sticks, I'll be able to be getting out videos. I would hope every weekday, and then I would probably do Saturdays, and then I would probably skip Sundays just because I want to. I want to take a day off. I think we're going to use another ticket here. And then I think I'm just going to do that. I don't think I'm going to go overboard on this one. Or put too much down on this one, because I kind of like the way it is now. And hopefully, you know, that's cute the way it is. Okay, I'm actually going to ink up the whole edge of this pocket. Well, the whole, what will be that, I'm not going to ink the bottom edge. It's just going to be at the bottom of the page. So, all right, so we have 2 pockets, and then we have these 2, which I'm just going to measure to the right height and use those. And then we have these, and we're just going to go at them. So I want, in my first signature, somewhere in the middle, probably this, where'd it go? This pink page. On the other side of this pink page, I want a pocket. Now this pocket is facing that way, so it has to go on this side of a page. So I'm going to probably just start with this one. I haven't done the bone folding part where I make all the pages nice and flat, so everything's kind of wobbly right now, and I'm okay with that. For now, I will, once this journal is complete, I will do a flip through, and I will put that up on Friday, because I'm going to try to get back to doing flip through Fridays, where I do a flip through of a journal every Friday on my channel. And I have a backlog of a lot of journals that I've made off camera, because even though I'm not on camera, I'm still working when I can on journals. It's just not always like quiet or calm or something where I feel like it's beneficial to put the camera on. Like sometimes it's the middle of the night and I'm just tired and trying to get some work done. Alright, so I'm making this into a middle-ish of the page belly band. Just lining it up best I can, top, bottom. And now this is a belly band. So that's that. And then I'm going to go to the back signature and I'm going to mirror that and do the same thing on this page. So grab my green one. I'm going to try this instead this time. Snip. It's easier to eyeball a straight line if I'm not looking at the pattern of the paper. Alright. Okay. And again, I would usually use a sewing machine. I don't think I've said this yet, this video. I would usually use a sewing machine, and sew everything on before I did the binding. But this is practice and making an example journal for a class I will be teaching, where we will not have access. Okay, I am getting a phone call and I need to pause. So I will stop this video here and I will come back on Friday and show you the fully decorated journal, because I need to answer the phone because I'm not sure if it's the school or something important. So thank you all for watching this with me. I'll come back on Friday for the flip through and show you where I attach the rest of these. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.